started, and we really appreciate that. There's a lot of legal bills that have been mounting because of this. Jennifer Watkins is still in jail down in Florida.
Yes.
She refuses to turn over custody of the child, and even though she's in violation. We've had Governor Quinn sign a governor warrant for her, so she's still in jail. I'll let Penny talk some more about that real quick. About the
Actually, both governors have signed the governor's warrant.
Oh, okay.
But right now she's filed habeas corpus, and so she's sitting in jail waiting the trial of that. She's been in jail since March 15th.
Okay. As you related to some of the events that are coming up, I'd be interested in how can the public either get involved that might want to do that, or how can those that are viewing our show tonight get involved with Illinois Fathers? Is there a place they can contact, or you have a mailing address?
We got a web address, and we never got the P.O. box, did we?
Yes, we did.
You got it? You have the
I don't have it
information?
memorized.
Okay.
I tell you what, you can go to our web address.
Do you have a phone number yet, or could any of the three of you be volunteering that somebody want to contact
We
you?
do have a Justice for Stephen page on Facebook,
Right.
which they could be on that, or
Okay.
if you'd like to contact even me at my home number, it's 217-458-2783. And I also want to say, which has been a big thing too, is some people are all offended about taking my driver's license and my state license. When they do that, what they do is say, you can't use these for your own pleasure. You still are going to be allowed to go to work, and you know, if your child needs to go to the hospital or everything, you still have a work permit. You're just not going to be able to cruise the town and go out and have a good time with your driver's license.
And that's in the law that you're trying to push
Yes.
to be.
Yes.
And that's only a suspension until you come into compliance. The minute you turn the child over, everything's back to normal.
I
But
see.
tell the people how they can, if they want to participate in the memorial ride, how can they?
And if
where
you want to
show up?
participate in the memorial ride at Slick Penny's, which is on Route 78 in Chandlerville, we will be meeting there between 10 and 12, and we'll do a poker run, which will start at 12 o'clock that day.
Okay.
And we'll be serving food at 5 o'clock. We'll have an auction starting at 6. We'll do 50-50s throughout the day, and we'll have a DJ starting at 5 that evening.
Well, I am so glad that you have kind of brought me as well as our community up to date in terms of what some of the real issues are that we're faced with as a community, as families, and as a court system.
But don't forget, it's IllinoisFathers.org, www.illinoisfathers.org.
IllinoisFathers.org.
And you get
I'll
all the
have Dennis
information.
to put that
Thank
on
you.
our screen, and we're going to come back with some more interesting things to discuss and talk about. So please stay tuned. Call your friends. Have them to also watch what we are going to continue to talk about. Well, welcome back. I'm glad that you came back and joined us for our next segment, because we're going to continue our discussions about the program called Illinois Fathers, the organization Illinois Fathers. Ladies and general, do you have any special events that you'd like to share with our viewing audience tonight that may be coming up that they can participate or be supportive of as far as they're getting involved? Because I certainly am welcoming the entire community to get involved on what I think is a very critical issue and a very important issue. General, are there any specific things coming up yet before our summer comes to an end?
Yes, specifically next month on August 21st, we have the Million Father March.
Okay.
And even though it's not just a Peoria event, Peoria will be holding their event August 21st. And what the Million Father March does is we have, here in Peoria, what we do is we have an actual march before school starts to get the word out to fathers, to try to play an integral part in the kids' education.
All right.
This year we'll be marching from Glen Oak School, the new community school.
Yes.
And we're going to march over to Glen Oak Park, where the amphitheater is, and we have Carl Cannon and his elite group is going to be a part of that. Bobby Darling, he's president of the Teachers Union. Both of those guys participated last year. we always seem to have more people show up at the at the site rather than for the march. But I don't know if that's for the food and the program and the music. But we'll have our keynote speaker will be Dr. Phil Jackson of the Black Star Project out of Chicago.
Okay.
He's the one who started this Million Father March program to try to get fathers back into the kids' lives. So that's going to go all over the country. They'll take account on the first day of school, and all the fathers that show up. We hope that the schools play a part and reach out to these dads, give them packets to let them know what goes on in their child's school that the remainder of the school year, and ask that they come back and play a part, whether it's teacher conferences, sports, or any extracurricular activities, or even if it's just to show up every once in a while to let your kids know that I'm there and I care.
So the focus really is to get the fathers involved in their children's life, who are students, and get them involved in their educational development. Because
our research shows that kids do so much better when they know that dad's involved and plays a part in their education. And not only do they achieve better in school academically, it cuts down on disciplinary problems. And I know a lot of people talk about all the disciplinary problems that District 150 has. This is one way to cut down on it.
Well, this is a way of being proactive rather than reactive.
Absolutely.
There you go.
And I would assume, and I would certainly hope, that the school district or any school would welcome involvement, first of all, of parents and certainly of fathers in the lives of the children who are in their educational facilities.
Well, I spoke at the school board meeting Monday, and it seemed like I was getting a little bit of pushback, you know. But one of the board members spoke up and he said that he definitely wants all the information on this, and he thinks that they should play a part in this and be involved in this. So I've been getting a lot of support from Reverend McConnell's church. I think his secretary there, her name is Crystal Johnson. She hit me up on Facebook, reached out to me. She said she's seen this on the news last year. She was disappointed they didn't have as much involvement from the community as it should have. So she's been sending out emails to all the different churches and put it on their website and put it on their Facebook, and she's just been a tremendous help. So I just hope that people can latch on to this. Go to IllinoisFathers.org if you have any questions. You can call the school district. I don't have their exact number, but you can go to PSD150.org and they should have information on there about it. I hope they have it up by now. Or you can call me.
Are you asking the school district to have some direct involvement in,
well, see,
this march?
Basically it's a school event, and I've talked to them about it last year, and so far they said they were on board, and we've been meeting all year long. It's just recently, like within the last month, they seem to be acting like they want to shy away from it. But like I said, it's a school event.
Well, in what way is the school event or the school district to be involved? Basically, all you're trying to do, at least what I'm understanding, you correct me, is that you're trying to get parents, in particular fathers, involved in school. So it's, you know, I guess I look at it more as a community parental involvement thing than a specific school. But regardless,
it's not a specific school, but it's a school district event. See, because when you have a school district that portrays to the community that what we have is called remarkable times, okay, and part of our strategic plan is to get community involved and to get more parental involvement.
And that's what I'm saying. They
that
should
falls
applaud
upon
this effort.
There you go.
Right.
There you go.
But anyway, whether they meant it as being resistant or whether it's been interpreted, I don't know. But I would certainly invite them to support you, as well as, and I'm assuming we're excluding the women when you say we're asking the fathers of the men.
No, we're not excluding.
So
no.
Well, then what?
The reason we say that is because fathers have been systematically excluded most of the time.
Right.
Okay, so it's not just a father's thing.
We want women
well, I'm
to
glad
show
that
up.
I asked that because I interpreted that you were just really asking the fathers to come out on that day before school to show their support and involvement. But basically, it's both parents.
Yeah, we want, what we want on that Sunday night is we want everybody to show up for the march. We want the media there to put the word out. If we can get the entire family there to show up on the first day of school, let your kids know, hey, we're here and we're going to be here. And trust me, you won't have any problems out the kids that first day of school. Because when they see men there, especially if one of those men are their dad, you know, or their uncle or mentor, somebody they look up to, you're not going to have any problems on the first day of school.
Well, I would hope that it won't just be on the first day of school, but they will find the interest and the time to come by on occasions unannounced and be, whether they're allowed on the inside or the outside, but to be somewhere where they may be seen by the students, to know that, well, hey, we can do what we want to now because they done gone on back home and so forth. Because they really do need to be involved. They need to be involved in their presence and in their interest. And as we've often said on this show, the first teacher is the parent. And it shouldn't be a matter of just dropping your kids off or a school bus picking them off and then leaving everything to the teachers. That they need to be involved in the homework. They need to be involved in the PTO organizations and the meetings and that type of a thing.
But you'll find so many times, Andre, that a lot of times in our school districts, in our school systems, that you find the same gender bias that you find in family courts, you know. A father can call or try to inquire about their child, and the first thing they're met with is, well, where's the mom?
Well, but hopefully that page has been turned, and now we can talk about hopefully
we're still working to turn it.
I can remember when you would have never imagined a female being a school superintendent, and certainly not a minority. So that page has turned, and hopefully some of those other biases and attitudes have changed toward inviting our parents, male and female, fathers and mothers, or anybody else in that family who has an interest in that child.
There you go.
Rather than continuing to beat the horse in terms of what used to be. Hopefully we're under new leadership, more important under a different and more positive attitude, in realizing that education is the most important thing that happens in a child's life, other than the love that they get, the security they get from their mom, dad, grandmother, or whoever is in their life. And it, as they say, it takes a village to raise a child. It takes the village to educate the child. All of us need to be involved in whatever way in which we can to instill not only the 3 R's of reading, writing, and arithmetic, but attitudes and things of that type, manners, or anything else that we can add to the development of our young people as they move toward adulthood. Well, I'm glad to hear about that event. Any other?
I think it probably needs to be any of the children's support staff. You know, and that's what it ought to be about, is supporting the children. We're going to be there. We're going to help educate. We're going to see to it to meet your needs, you know, and that's what it needs to be about.
And there needs to be high expectations from the family as well as from the school, because kids will reach higher if their expectations are raised to be higher. And I think, unfortunately, some teachers don't expect much, don't give much, and don't get back much. Unfortunately, many parents don't get involved and expect. I know when I was coming along, getting a C was as bad as getting a D or F. My mom said, no, we don't have C's in this house. And I knew that, and so that caused me to work a little harder to get my B or to get my A. And so I think that, you know, we need to expect more, give more, and be supportive, both in the classroom as well as in the home. And okay, any other
well, basically
activities?
That's what Illinois Fathers Group is about.
Okay.
Is saying we want to be there and be part of that support staff.
All right.
I think that's what Illinois Fathers Group's all about. It's not about whether you're male or a father, or it's saying I want to be there for this child, my child, and I want to be part and be part of their support.
Well, I commend the organization, and what you're saying is that this is an effort that's not just in Illinois as far as Illinois Fathers, but there's a national movement trying to get parents involved, in particular the fathers involved, whether it's a custody issue or whether it's an educational issue. That we really need to balance out the efforts of males and females called husbands and wives called moms and dads to live up to their fullest expectations and unlock their full potential to be all that they can be so that they can pass that on to their children to reach whatever heights they may be in terms of
and we try to do that at Illinois Fathers because we try to take it from a three-legged approach, like a three-legged stool. One is through counseling, the other one is through legislation, and changing legislation to where it's more pro-family, and the other one is through legal services. You know, and a lot of times there's laws enacted that make it hard for people to be part of the family or participate in that type of mode. But I had 2 events here last year. Well, I say but did it under the auspices with Illinois Fathers. I brought a guy here from Washington, D.C., a film producer named James Morton, and he showed the documentary Men to Boys.
Men to Boys.
Men to Boys, and he had a lot of different guys on there, and they gave little pearls of wisdom in case they left. What 3 pearls of wisdom would you leave your son? You know, so that he can make it through. And he also talked about, you know, why these young African American men are acting out because of the fatherless issue. Well, by the end of that year, I brought an author here named Michelle Alexander, who wrote the book The New Jim Crow: Mass Incarceration in the Age of Color Blindness. And when I emceed that event, I said, well, the reason I brought it here is because the last couple of years, our president spoke about, you know, fathers not stepping up to the plate and being fathers. We were acting more like little boys instead of men and stuff. And I said he talked about fathers not being there, but he didn't tell you why they wasn't there or where they were at. Well, Michelle, that's why I brought her here. She can tell you where those fathers were at and why they were absent, see, because they systematically were in prison, okay? And she showed the correlation between this system and having dysfunctional families, okay, and even leaving the court system the way it is, where it's so pro-women and anti-male, okay, to where all these different social agencies and all these different programs make money off the dysfunction of the family. Now, it's disparate in the Hispanic and the African American community, but it affects white communities too, see. So that's what we're trying to do. We're trying to right the wrong, see, because anytime her son got to lose his life just for obeying a court order, getting his court order visitation, something's wrong, Andre.
But that happens every day, and I'm not putting down.
Well, no, that don't happen every day.
Well, a lot of people are losing
But it
their
shouldn't
lives.
happen every day.
Oh no, no, it shouldn't. And I said, don't misunderstand what I'm saying.
You shouldn't have to lose your life just for going to pick up your child.
No, you're right. You're right. And believe me, there have been women shot by men who went to get a child and that type of thing. So all I'm saying is,
and I didn't say women. I said you shouldn't be able to, meaning a person.
Right. But
nobody should have that fear.
Unfortunately.
You know? So
I feel that as we have developed as a nation, we've become more violent. Within our own homes, there's probably more orders of protection today than there's ever been in the history of mankind, where a wife has abused a husband or the husband has abused the wife or whatever. That it's sad that, and as I said, in our community, and I continue to say it on captions, I'm against the concealed carry law. I don't feel that the answer to our problems are more weapons of destruction.
Right.
And but we seem to resort to, rather than counseling that you talked about or working out our differences, we still are using physical force and deadly force.
There you go.
When you mention counseling, is there a program that people can get involved with as it relates to your organization?
Well,
or what?
So far, we had well, like Amy said, you know, we have support groups going on all over the state. But just recently, we had tried to put a program in place, but I just got involved with a guy from the Department of Human Services, from DCFS. There's money that they have available now to try to reach out to get fathers more involved and to do counseling and stuff like that. So they're going to work with us, with Illinois Fathers. So if they have the money already available or we have to apply for the grant, we got counselors that have already been working with us anyway to help parents who go through divorce to have coping skills, to learn how to deal with the situation and have to deal with things after you come from the courthouse and stuff like that, because you're not prepared for that, you know.
No,
you basically,
that's right.
you're going through a grieving process and you're left all on your own, you know, and we try to teach people and help them to be able to cope with everyday life and what they're going through at the time. And we speak on these things at our Fatherless Day rally. We hold in Springfield every year. We had one last year. We had Dr. Stephen Baskerville. He was a keynote speaker. This year, Penny Watkins, she was our keynote speaker. Next year, we're going to hold a national Fatherless Day rally. We're going to hold it in Chicago next year. And we're bringing groups from all over the country, from Virginia, Iowa, Indiana, Michigan, Minnesota, California. And we're going to have it's going to be like a 3-day conference. And we're going to end up on that Sunday on Father's Day, just like Amy did this year. We'll end up with Real Men Cook, doing that whole ordeal all over again. But we'll still have our rally on Friday morning. We'll have breakout sessions on that Friday night. It's either Friday or Saturday night. They have the dinner, and we award our Parent of the Year award, okay, for the parent who displays that they understand that children need both parents. And that award this year went to Dwayne Wade from the Miami Heat, because even though he won custody of his 2 sons, he even said after he went through the parental alienation from his ex-wife and everything, he said he hopes that she now will play a healthy and vital role in their kids' lives. So.
Well, that sounds great. I would just implore you, and I would challenge you, in addition to all the big national events and things in Chicago that don't have much connection to those of us in Peoria and watching you folks tonight, to try to see to it, grants or no grants, working with agencies that are already in existence, to provide some of the needed counseling and support that you feel is necessary and needed in terms of working with many of these couples who couldn't do it too much together, and they certainly aren't doing too much apart, but yet they need the assistance, they need the support, and they need the encouragement. And I would certainly hope that whatever phone number or whatever you leave for our audience to contact, that there will be a lot of people inquiring to see what information you can share with them, what support you can give them, or how they can get involved. And I'm going to ask that the community get involved, support this organization, as well as I ask you to support other organizations. Too many people say, I'm bored, I don't have nothing to do. Well, there's a lot of things that can be done, and here we have an example of an organization and a program that's trying to reach out to save the children and to work with the parents and to see to it that bonding takes place within the house and that the laws are just in terms of our courts. Anything that you want to add before I close? Yes.
I would definitely like to say about we do support people with court watches. We are available in the courtrooms when they go before the judge. We can't get into the juvenile law. It's 50% in the juvenile law and the other 50 is in family law. We can't get into family courtrooms, but right now juvenile law is closed. Okay, and that's why I think it's important that I'll have Dennis to either put up a phone number or put up whatever you feel to allow people to utilize your court watch system or any other services that you have, because
support groups.
Because there are some people that may be watching that need you, and but again may not know how to reach you or get a hold of you. So please continue your vigilance, your commitment, and I commend you. And I invite those of you who were listening and watching tonight to get involved, first of all, in your own family, personal affair, to see to it that justice is being done and that the right things are taking place. And if you need help, if you need guidance, if you need counseling, if you need somebody to be your buddy as you go to court and you need a court watch or whatever, contact the organization and get involved. As I said, the purpose of CAPtions is to educate you, hopefully to motivate you for you to participate. So whether it's in a march, whether it's in a bill that's being passed and hopefully passed soon.
HB 1604.
What is the bill?
HB 1604.
Okay. we'll say that number HB 1604, which may not mean much to you, but anyway, you can call your local state legislator and let them know that you're interested in that bill, or the bill that's concerned about a young man named Stephen, and get involved.
Right.
The quality of our life depends upon the commitment of yours. Thank you for watching Captions. See you next week.